Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing a book tag because in my last two videos I've had a lot of people say that they'd like me to do some more of those. And seeing as I have like a list of like at least 6 book tags I've been wanting to do, I figure now would be a good time to do so. So today I'm going to be doing the 7 Deadly Sins of Reading tag, and I was actually tagged for once. Woo! I was tagged by Kimberly's Book Nook. And basically, you just go through the 7 deadly sins of reading. Okay, so number 1. So the first is greed. And the question is, what is your most inexpensive book? And just a minute. Alright, so my most inexpensive book I own is Don't You Forget About Me, a Gossip Girl novel. And I got this at a thrift store, I believe, and it was 25 cents. And it's brand new, so can't beat that. What is your most expensive book? And I don't know if you really consider this a book, but I think this is the most expensive book I own, and it was $45. I did not buy it, it was a gift. And this is super expensive. And then besides this book, I think the next one would be my Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows book, because I'm pretty sure that one was like $35. And so, yeah, that was really expensive. Alright, next one. Wrath is the next one. And it is, what author do you have a love-hate relationship with? And I'm not sure. Okay, so I actually didn't know which one to pick for this one. I'm going to end up going with Susan Collins, and the reason why is because I really enjoyed this trilogy overall, and I feel like she made a great trilogy, and I loved The Hunger Games and Catching Fire. But personally, I think Mockingjay sucked, and I did not like the ending at all to the trilogy, so I was like loving it, and I was kind of like, eh. What the heck? So I'm going to say that because I love her for those, but I hate her for that. Gluttony. What book have you deliciously devoured over and over with no shame whatsoever? I'm going to choose the Harry Potter series for this one because I have read that series many times, and I don't really feel bad. Like, I don't feel silly admitting it because I know I'm not alone in that. And as you can tell from my copies, they've been read a few times. Another series that whenever it came out I read over and over is the Twilight series, and I don't care if people make fun of me, like whatever. It was big and I was in love with it. I was in high school and I was like 16, and it was like the best thing ever. And I read that series I don't know how many times. So, Sloth. What book have you neglected reading due to laziness? And this doesn't usually affect me that often because I usually just deal with it. Like when I read the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I borrowed my aunt's copy and it was huge, and I was like, oh my gosh, but I did it. I just stuck through it and I read it. And that's kind of how I've been feeling with, that is how I've been feeling with this series. They're so massive that it's made me kind of feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can read these. And if you're wondering why the first one is gone, it's because I'm currently reading it. I started it a long time ago, and I'm reading it little by little, pretty much just like a chapter a day. But I just told myself it doesn't matter how quickly you read it, just do it. Like, don't be like so nervous, and because I have neglected reading these for a while because of that. So I'm finally doing it, and I'm just making myself read a little bit. And I'm not even really, this is like the first video I think I've even talked about this book, because I feel like I didn't even want to tell you guys I was reading it, and I just wanted to tell you when I was finished, because then I could just be like, oh hey, here's a book review, instead of saying, hey, I'm reading this, and then 3 months later doing a book review, and then everyone's gonna be like, are you serious? You just now finished that? So I'm just letting you know that's why I've neglected to read these. They are huge. Everyone knows they are huge. I know there's a couple that's over like 1,000 pages. I think, maybe not. So that's why. Alright, what book do you talk about in order to sound like a very intellectual reader? And I have to say, I don't have to do this anymore where I have to feel like pressure to sound intelligent. I just talk about, especially with BookTube, I just talk about what I'm reading. I don't have to feel bad. However, when I was like in junior high and like I was going into high school, I didn't really have that many friends that would read, but I had some cousins that would read. And my aunt, their mom, she would read. And she would read like only classics and just very like well-known, like very good books. And whenever I would read silly little books like, say, The Click or something, which is about like some, you know, oops, $1, which is about like, you know, junior high silly girls that are into just makeup and boys. And whenever I'd read books like this, she'd be like, Jessica, you can read so much better than that. And she was actually the one that got me to read the Lord of the Rings trilogy. She had me read Watership Down. I think I read Little Women, Pride and Prejudice, lots of books that are older books. I never really read much newer books with her. Oh, the Chronicles of Narnia books I read with her. So there are quite a few books I read because of her, and in fact I'd even borrow her copies, and I would feel like ashamed if I would talk about silly books that I was reading, so I would want to read those. And I read like Wuthering Heights, and I bought like more Jane Austen books because I was trying to kind of like feel like I could fit in with what she liked to read, because, you know, but now I'm on BookTube, I have tons of friends that read all different types of books, so I don't feel like I have to fit into any little category. I can just read whatever I want, and I'm also 20 now, so I don't really care as much as when I was like 14 and 15 what people think of me, basically. Lust, what attributes do you find most attractive in male or female characters? And I don't know if they mean like which characters, like if, you know, if they were real, like, so I would date them. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I like my male characters to be like funny, and I like them to be kind of like witty, like sarcastic. And then another thing that's good about female characters, like something that I like to see in female characters, is I like it when they have a good head on their shoulders. They're not just constantly making rash decisions that you're just sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, think before you do stuff. Like, it's nice when people think ahead and think of consequences that could happen, and it's nice when sometimes people think, because sometimes you read about people and you're just like, oh my gosh, you're such an idiot, and you just want to like shake them. So that's, I think, one issue, because I read quite a few books that are through like girls' perspectives, and that's like one thing I find quite a bit when I'm just like, think things through, please. The last one's envy, and it's basically, what books would you most like to receive as a gift? And I can think of so many books that I would like to receive as a gift. Gifts are always nice, but I think right now I'm reading Beautiful Creatures, so it'd be nice to maybe get the Castor Chronicles, because I went to my library to just check out the rest of the series, because I just owned book 1, and they were all checked out. And I think the library had, I think, at least 5 copies of each book. So all 20 copies were out, and so I put a hold on them. But anyways, it'd be nice if I had my own copy so I could just continue on after I read this one. But that's the end of the tag. So again, I'm going to try and do more tags like this. I have an ongoing list, like I said. I'm not going to tag anyone specific because this is kind of an older tag, and I've seen so many booktubers do this one. So if you haven't done it, you should do it. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Maybe if you want to do like a video response, letting me know, maybe doing this tag. Well, I'm going to go, so I will see you all tomorrow with another video. Bye!